The parking lot lights hummed. Marcus Holloway did not scream when the voltage hit. Did not convulse the way bodies are supposed to. Just dropped to one knee, jaw locked, 50,000 volts turning his muscles to stone. Officer Ryan Keller stood 3 feet away, taser still extended, breathing hard. I said get on the ground. Marcus couldn't speak, couldn't move. The current kept firing, kept locking his spine rigid, and all he could think, the only thought that cut through the pain, was that he'd survive Kandahar for this. For a Tuesday night. A grocery store parking lot. A man who saw threat instead of a person buying milk. When the current stopped, Marcus collapsed forward. Palms on asphalt. The smell of ozone and his own sweat. Hands behind your back. Marcus complied. Slow. Deliberate. Each movement measured. Ryan's knee pressed between his shoulder blades. The cuffs bit cold and tight. You want to tell me what you were doing walking around a vehicle that isn't yours? It's mine, Marcus managed. Voice steady despite everything. Registration didn't match the plates. Dealer plates. I bought it yesterday. Uh-huh. Ryan hauled him upright. You got proof. Glove box. We'll see. A small crowd had gathered. Phones out. Recording. Faces lit by screens. Ryan walked Marcus to the cruiser, hand clamped on his arm like he might bolt. Marcus didn't resist. Didn't argue. Just breathed. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. The way the VA counselor taught him. You can't control what they do. Only how you respond. Ryan shoved him against the HUD. Patted him down roughly. Hands invasive, checking pockets. Waistband, ankles. You carrying anything I should know about? No. Drugs? Weapons? No. Where you coming from? The grocery store. Marcus nodded toward the Safeway entrance 30 feet away. I bought milk. Ryan glanced at the sedan. A bag sat visible in the back seat. He didn't acknowledge it. License and registration. Wallet's in my back pocket. Ryan pulled it out. Flipped it open. Marcus washed his face. Watched him read the name. The address. The veteran designation stamped across the top. Nothing changed. Ryan handed it to his partner, a younger officer, Jenkins, who'd arrived as backup and stood silent by the second cruiser. Run it. Jenkins hesitated. Ryan, maybe we should run it. Jenkins took the license and walked back to his car. Ryan crossed his arms. Studied Marcus like a problem to solve. You live around here. 15 minutes away. What brings you to this part of town? Groceries. There's a Safeway closer to your address. Marcus said nothing. I asked you a question. I'm allowed to shop wherever I want. You getting smart with me? No, sir. Ryan's jaw worked. You know how many car thefts we've had in this area? 3 in the last month. All matching your description. Black man in a parking lot. Don't do that. Do what? Make this about race. Marcus almost laughed. Almost. Instead, he looked past Ryan to the people still filming. To the woman clutching her purse. To the teenager whispering to his friend. He'd seen that look before. In markets in Kabul. On patrols through villages that couldn't tell soldier from invader. Fear without context. Suspicion without cause. Jenkins returned, holding a printout. He's clean. No warrants. Registration matches. Dealer plates like he said. Car was purchased yesterday, still being processed. Ryan didn't move. So we're good. Jenkins's voice carried an edge. Uncertainty. We're good when I say we're good. Ryan turned back to Marcus. You got an attitude problem, you know that? Marcus met his eyes. I've been cooperative. Cooperative would have been answering my questions without the commentary. I answered every question. With an attitude. The cuffs were cutting off circulation. Marcus's hands tingled. Am I being charged with something? I'm still deciding. A new voice cut through. Sharp. Female. What the hell is going on here? Both officers turned. A woman approached fast, heels clicking on. Asphalt. 40 maybe. Black pantsuit. Silver hair cut sharp as a blade. Mayor Diane Richardson. Marcus recognized her from the news. She lived 3 blocks from here. He'd seen the coverage during the last election. Ryan straightened. Ma'am, this is an active situation. I can see that. Diane stopped in front of Marcus, taking in the cuffs. The taser burns visible on his neck, the way he held himself too still. What's the cause for detainment? Suspicious activity. Suspicious activity. Diane's voice could have frozen water. Standing near his own car? We didn't know it was his car at the time. And now you do. We're verifying. Officer Jenkins just confirmed registration. I heard him. Diane stepped closer to Ryan. So I'll ask again. What's the cause for continued detainment? Ryan's face flushed. Mayor Richardson, with all due respect, uncuff him. Ma'am, now. A pause. Long enough to feel like a dare. Ryan pulled his keys out. Unlocked the cuffs. Marcus brought his hands forward slowly, rubbing his wrists. Diane's gaze swept over him. Are you hurt? I'm fine. He resisted, Ryan said quickly. I didn't. Marcus's voice stayed level. You refused to comply. I asked what I was being detained for. That's not resistance. Diane held up a hand. Officer Keller, do you know who this man is? Ryan blinked. Should I? She turned to Marcus. May I? He nodded. Diane reached carefully into his jacket pocket. Ryan tensed and pulled out a small leather case. She opened it. Inside, a purple heart medal. The engraving caught the parking lot light. Staff Sergeant Marcus J. Holloway, for wounds received in action against an enemy of the United States. Diane held it up. He's a decorated combat veteran, she said quietly. He served 3 tours. Saved 6 lives during an ambush in Kandahar. And you just tossed him for buying milk. Ryan's face went pale. The silence stretched. Ryan stared at the medal, at the purple ribbon, at Marcus's face, which showed nothing at all. I didn't know. You didn't ask. Diane's voice was soft now, softer than rage. Worse, Jenkins shifted his weight, looking anywhere but at his partner. Ryan cleared his throat. Sir, if I'd known what? Marcus interrupted. That I was military? That I have a medal? Would that have changed how you saw me walking to my car? I was responding to a call. What call? Ryan hesitated. There was no call, Jenkins said quietly. We were on patrol. You flagged him. All eyes turned to Ryan. His jaw tightened. I saw someone lingering near a vehicle. It looked suspicious. I was putting groceries in my back seat. You were there a long time. I was on the phone. With my daughter. She's 7. She wanted to know if I remembered to buy the strawberry milk she likes. Marcus's voice didn't rise. Didn't need to. I told her I did. Then I hung up. And you pulled up with your lights on and ordered me out of my car. Diane closed the metal case. Handed it back to Marcus. Officer Keller, she said. How long have you been on the force? 8 years. You've had implicit bias training? Yes, ma'am. De-escalation training? Yes. And yet your first response to a man standing near his own vehicle was a taser. He was non-compliant. He asked a question. A legal question. What am I being detained for? Diane's voice hardened. That's not resistance. That's constitutional. Ryan said nothing. One of the bystanders, an older black woman, stepped forward. I saw the whole thing. That man didn't do nothing but stand there. Officer came up aggressive from the start. Another voice. I got it on video. Ryan's face went from pale to gray. Diane pulled out her phone. Officer Keller, I'm going to need your badge number. Ma'am, badge number. He recited it. She typed it into her phone. Then she turned to Marcus. Do you need medical attention? No. Those burns should be looked at. I've had worse. Her expression softened, just slightly. I'm sure you have. But protocol requires. I don't want an ambulance. Marcus's tone left no room. I want to go home. Diane studied him, saw the exhaustion beneath the composure. The way his hands stayed loose but ready. A man who'd learned not to show weakness. All right, she said. You're free to go. Marcus nodded once. Started toward his car. Wait. Ryan's voice stopped him. I apologize. I made a mistake. Marcus turned slowly. Ryan looked young suddenly. Uncertain. I reacted badly. I shouldn't have. You shouldn't have assumed. Right? Yes. Marcus waited. It won't happen again, Ryan said. To me? Or to anyone? The question hung there. Ryan opened his mouth. Closed it. Marcus nodded. That's what I thought. He walked to his car, got in, and drove away. The taillights disappeared into traffic. Diane waited until he was gone before turning back to Ryan. My office. Tomorrow. 9 a.m. Mayor Richardson, that wasn't a request. She walked back to her own car, heels sharp on asphalt, and drove home with her hands gripping the wheel too tight. By morning, the video had 20,000 views. The woman who'd filmed it had posted it to Twitter with a simple caption. This is what suspicious looks like in America. The footage was damning. Crystal clear. Marcus standing calmly. Ryan approaching with hand already on his taser. The escalation that came from nowhere. And then the moment the current hit. Marcus dropping. The crowd gasping. Diane watched it twice in her office before Ryan arrived. He knocked at 8:57 a.m. Come in. He entered stiff, uniform pressed, face drawn. Sit. He sat. Diane set her phone down. You seen the video? Yes, ma'am. 20,000 views as of an hour ago. Local news picked it up. National outlets are calling. Ryan's throat worked. You understand what this looks like? Diane continued. A black veteran, Purple Heart recipient, tased in a grocery store parking lot for standing near his own car. I didn't know. It doesn't matter what you know. Her voice cut like wire. Marcus Holloway could have been a janitor, a teacher, unemployed. It wouldn't change a damn thing. You saw a black man and assumed threat. That's not. Don't insult me by lying. Ryan went silent. Diane leaned back. I've been mayor for 6 years. In that time, I've fought for this department. Budgets, equipment, public support. I've defended you when people said the force was biased. That racial profiling was systemic. She paused. You just made my job a hell of a lot harder. I made a mistake. You made a choice. Diane's gaze didn't waver. And now the city is going to pay for it. Lawsuit. Settlement. Federal investigation, probably. You think the DOJ isn't watching videos like this? Ryan's face crumpled. I didn't mean. Intent doesn't erase impact. Silence. Then, quieter. What happens now? Paid administrative leave pending investigation. Internal Affairs will review the incident. If they find policy violations, and they will, there'll be a hearing. And then, that depends on you. Ryan looked up. You can fight this, Diane said. Lawyer up. Claim you followed protocol. Make Marcus prove harm. Drag it out for months. She paused. Where you can take responsibility. How? Publicly. Completely. Acknowledge what you did wrong. Submit to retraining. Accept whatever consequences IA recommends without appeal. They could fire me. They could. Ryan's hands shook. I have a wife. A mortgage. Marcus Holloway has a daughter who asked for strawberry milk. Diane's voice gentled. He's a man who survived war and came home to this. You think he doesn't have stakes? Ryan looked at the floor. I'm not unsympathetic, Diane said. But you don't get to be the victim here. You made a decision. Now you make another one. She stood. You have 24 hours. After that, the decision gets made for you. Ryan left without a word. Marcus didn't watch the news. Didn't check social media. Didn't answer calls from reporters who'd somehow gotten his number. He went to work, IT contractor for a defense firm, and kept his head down. Answered emails. Fixed server issues. Ate lunch alone in his car. Normal. Or what passed for it now. His daughter, Simone, was with her mother for the week. Custody agreement. He'd see her Saturday. He tried not to think about explaining it to her. About the questions she'd ask when kids at school heard their parents talking. Daddy, why did the police hurt you? What was the answer? The real one? Because he saw me and didn't see a person. Just a color. Just a threat. 7 years old was too young for that truth. Maybe there was no right age. Thursday afternoon, his phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer. But something made him pick up. Mr. Holloway? This is Diane Richardson. He sat up straighter without meaning to. Mayor, I wanted to check in. See how you're doing. I'm fine. You keep saying that. Because it's true. A pause. I'm planning a town hall. Next week. Addressing what happened. Community policing. Accountability. I'd like you there. No. Mr. Holloway, I'm not a symbol. I'm not your proof that the system works. That's not what I'm asking. Isn't it? Marcus kept his voice even. You want me on a stage. Want people to see the veteran who got tossed and lived. Want them to feel like justice happened because he stepped in. Justice hasn't happened yet. That stopped him. Diane continued. Officer Keller is on leave. Under investigation. But that's just process. Real change requires more. It requires people like you saying this isn't acceptable. People like me. People who lived it. Marcus looked out his windshield at the parking lot. Gray sky. Empty spaces. What do you want me to say? The truth. Whatever that is for you. He thought about Ryan's face going pale. About Jenkins looking away. About the woman who'd filmed it saying I saw the whole thing. I'll think about it, he said. That's all I'm asking. She hung up. Saturday, Marcus picked up Simone. She ran to him the way she always did, backpack bouncing, smile wide. Daddy. He caught her, lifted her up. She was getting too big for this. Wouldn't be long before she'd roll her eyes at the gesture. But not yet. Did you get my strawberry milk? His chest tightened. I did. Good. She wriggled down. Can we get pizza? Absolutely. They went to her favorite place, ordered a large pepperoni. She told him about school, about a project on the solar system, about how her friend Mia said Pluto should still be a planet. Normal. Beautiful normal. And then, quieter. Mommy said something happened to you. Marcus set his slice down. What did she say? That the police made a mistake. That you're okay. I am okay. Were you scared? He looked at his daughter, at her wide eyes and the trust there. A little, he admitted. But I stayed calm. Like we talked about. When people are mean. Yeah. Did it work? He thought about Diane stepping in. About the video going viral. About Ryan on administrative leave. It did. Simone nodded, satisfied. Good. She went back to her pizza. Marcus watched her eat and felt something crack open in his chest. She deserved better than this. Better than a world where staying calm was survival. Where her father had to measure every movement so he'd make it home. That night, after he'd tucked her in and read 3 chapters of her current favorite book, he sat on his couch and opened his laptop. Pulled up the town hall announcement. Stared at the registration link. Then he clicked it. The town hall was packed. Standing room only. News cameras in the back. Faces Marcus didn't recognize, and some he did. The woman who'd filmed the video was in the 3rd row. Diane stood at the podium, flanked by the police chief and the head of the Civilian Oversight Board. She spoke about accountability, about training reforms already in motion, about listening sessions and policy reviews. And then she introduced Marcus. He walked to the microphone in silence. The room stilled. I'm not here to tell you what to think, he began. I'm here to tell you what happened and what it felt like. He told them about the parking lot, about the taser, about dropping to his knees while people watched. He told them about his daughter asking if he was scared. I'm a veteran, he said. I've been shot at. I've seen people die. And the scariest moment I've had in 5 years was standing in a grocery store parking lot in my own neighborhood. No one moved. Officer Keller made a choice. Maybe it was implicit bias. Maybe it was bad training. Maybe it was fear. I don't know. What I know is that it shouldn't have happened. And it shouldn't happen to anyone else. He paused. I don't want revenge. I want change. Real change. The kind that means the next black man buying milk doesn't have to wonder if he'll make it home. The applause started slow, then built. Marcus stepped away from the mic. Diane shook his hand. Thank you. He nodded. Afterwards, people approached him, thanked him, shared their own stories. He listened to everyone. 3 weeks later, the department announced new protocols. Mandatory bias training. Body cameras required at all times. Civilian oversight for use of force incidents. Ryan Keller resigned before the internal affairs hearing concluded. Marcus heard about it from Diane, who called to tell him personally. How do you feel? She asked. I don't know, he said honestly. That's fair. A pause. He wrote you a letter, Diane said. Asked me to pass it along. I told him I'd ask you first. What's it say? I didn't read it. But he said it's an apology. A real one. Marcus thought about that. About Ryan's face going pale. About a man who'd made a terrible choice and now had to live with it. Yeah, he said finally. I'll read it. I'll send it. The letter arrived 2 days later. It was 3 pages. Handwritten. Shaky in places. Ryan didn't make excuses. Didn't blame training or stress or fear. He just said, I was wrong. I saw you and made assumptions I had no right to make. I convinced myself I was protecting people when really I was perpetuating harm. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix what I did, but I need you to know I see it now, and I'll spend the rest of my career, if I still have one, making sure I never see anyone that way again. Marcus read it twice. Then he folded it carefully and put it in a drawer. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But acknowledgement. A start. Saturday morning, Marcus took Simone to the park. She ran ahead, laughing, chasing a soccer ball. He sat on a bench and watched her play. The sun was warm. The sky clear. A woman jogged past and smiled at him. He smiled back. Normal. Just normal. His phone buzzed. A text from Diane. Town hall follow-up meeting next month. Hope you'll come. Your voice matters. He typed back. I'll be there. Then he put the phone away and called Simone over. Ice cream, he asked. Yes. They walked to the shop 2 blocks away, her hand in his, talking about everything and nothing. And for the first time in weeks, Marcus felt something shift. Not healing. Not yet. But hope. That maybe, slowly, painfully, imperfectly, things could get better. That his daughter might grow up in a world where a man buying milk was just a man buying milk. Nothing suspicious. Nothing threatening, just human. He held on to that hope, carried it with him, the way he'd carried everything else, and kept moving forward.